morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at Sylveon VMAX, and I did think that Sylveon VMAX was going to be shown off and really made a big deal of before the whole set was dropped. But that never actually happened. But now this full set has dropped, and Sylveon VMAX, it's not easy, but we can absolutely take advantage of this, and I am rather happy indeed. Now, just as a quick reminder, translations from the lovely Antoine Boulet, as I'm sure you've already remembered, we need to have a quick reminder about Sylveon V, because Sylveon V is not so good. I'm a huge fan of Sylveon V, I think it's a bit ridiculous. Now, Sylveon V, the stats are nothing special, 200 HP is low, and the attack 2 energy 60 damage, nobody's getting excited. But the ability lets you search your deck for any item card, put it into your hand, and then your turn ends, but nobody really cares because you've got yourself out of a pinch. And there are 2 times where Sylveon V is genuinely, legitimately, awesomely, brilliantly wonderful. Time number 1 is on your first turn of the game if you go first, because on turn 1, if you go first, you can't attack. You're going to be ending your turn without attacking anyway, so you might as well just try and find something you can do instead. And you know what something you can do instead is? Search for literally any item card and put it in your hand. That seems ridiculous. The other time I really like it is when you don't have much going on. Because we've all had those turns where you don't have much going on. We've all had those turns where you just need one card, you need something to get going. So what you do, very nicely, is you search for something. Maybe it's a quick ball or something along those lines. And then, okay, fine, your turn ends. But then next turn you can quick ball for something like a Crobat to get rolling. Or your opponent goes, oh, they've got a quick ball, I'm going to Marnie them, and you're like, brilliant, I had nothing rolling, you Marnieing me still puts me in a better position, and then maybe I've got a supporter or a Crobat or something to play after the Marnie, and honestly, unless you get Marnied into like a properly trash hand, you're probably better off being Marnied than actually just having your quick ball. So yeah, let's do this. Love Sylveon, think it's a great card. What about the VMAX? Well, you go up to 310 HP, which is low, but again, I could point you towards Victini, which is what I always do when I see a 310 HP VMAX, but Victini proves that the low HP is not that much of a barrier. Retreat cost of 2 means free retreat with Air Balloon, which isn't perfect, but it's fine. It'll do. Weakness to metal. I mean, look, you got enough HP that Zacian becomes an issue. The V, I don't care, because Zacian gets a one-hit KO anyway, but now you are one-hit KO'd by Zacian V. That could be an issue. Having said that, we've seen it over in Japan. Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX is proven to be a pretty good deck. And we have an English scan now. Yay! And that's not being held back by weakness to Zacian, so I think we're probably going to end up being all right. And we are a psychic Pokemon, which means you are hitting weakness against stuff like Urshifu, which is quite nice. But it also means we can accelerate energy with stuff like Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX while we draw cards. And basically anything psychic right now, I'm just going to go, hey, Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX makes an awesome combo, because it does. First attack, 1 psychic energy, Cherish Touch. Attach an energy from your hand to one of your benched Pokemon, then heal 120 damage from that Pokemon. It's fine. The thing is, we've seen this before. If you are like me and very, very obsessive about the Pokemon trading card game, and you spend as much time looking through cards as I do, you'll remember Stonejourner VMAX. That for 1 energy lets you attach a fighting energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon, and if you do, heal 120 damage from that Pokemon. It's literally the same attack as Stonejourner VMAX. Except actually, the lovely Antoine Boulet has pointed out a slight difference here, and that is that Stonejourner let you attach to any Pokemon, whereas Sylveon only lets you attach to the bench, not the active, which actually does make it even worse. And look, all I can tell you about this is it's not good. Like, as an emergency, fine, but what you're basically doing is leaving a free prize Pokemon in the active so that you can heal your bench. And there are going to be games, occasional games, where essentially you have a Pokemon that is in range of being KO'd, and you can take it out of range of being KO'd and save yourself a turn or two using this attack. I'm not saying it's absolute trash garbage, but I am saying it's not good. It is an occasional use attack which sometimes will come in and do you a solid. It is not the kind of attack you want to be using all the time. It's not that good. But the second attack, I like the second attack. Free colorless energy, 70 damage, plus 30 more for each type of Pokemon on your bench. Oh, now this is another card which is going to end up looking a little bit familiar to long-time players of the game. It is what we used to refer to as Rainbow Road Xerneas, so some people hated that name. Although to be fair, Xerneas did 10 plus 30 more for each different type of Pokemon on your bench. Sylveon does 70 plus 30 more for each different type of Pokemon on your bench. Now, it is also worth bearing in mind that back in the day when we were playing Xerneas, we had dual-type Pokemon, like Volcanion, which was both water and fire type. And that Galvantula, which I really didn't like, because I didn't realise it was a dual-type Pokemon for a little while, because it's grass lightning. And if you're colourblind, those cards, those colours look very similar. Obviously, when you get to the energy symbols in the top right, it's very obvious. But when I first looked at the card, it took me a minute. It wasn't obvious like Volcanion EX is. So, we don't have dual-type Pokemon around at the moment. So, if we go just base plan, we have 5 different types of Pokemon on our bench. That means we are doing 150 plus 70 is 220. And you know what? 220 is cool. 220 absolutely works, because 220 is the standard high end for Pokemon V. You get the occasional Pokemon like Zamazenta that sneaks up to 230, and the occasional Pokemon like Wailord and Steelix that really do go a little bit silly, but they are occasional. Generally speaking, as a general rule, we go up to 220. It's why Victini hitting 220 is so gosh darned good. The thing is, if I'm against a Pokemon V, Victini wants me to have 2 energy. Sylveon wants me to have 3 energy and 5 Pokemon of different types on my bench. That is not as easy, ladies and gentlemen, not by half. Now, in terms of the energy, I do need to mention for a very brief window before it rotates out, we're going to have triple acceleration energy. Although they might actually rotate on the same day this is legal for tournament play. But it's there as an option, especially like in Japan when they're not rotating so quickly. But we've always got Shadow Rider Calyrex to try and accelerate energy to us, so I'm not too worried, honestly. But that brings me to my next point. Because if I'm playing Shadow Rider Calyrex, that's a Psychic type. Well, Sylveon's a Psychic type. So I don't really want to play more than one of either of those, and then I want to fill my bench up with different types. And you've got a Crobat there, Darkness, that'll help you draw. And you'll probably be playing Kricketune, which is going to give you extra consistency, and that's grass. And then you can play Oranguru for consistency, and that's colourless. So we can get up to our different types nice and easily. The problem is I want to play more than 2 Psychic types. And if I've only got 4 different types on the bench, then I'm only hitting 120 plus 70, which is 190, which will get weaker things like Crobat, but isn't going to get all the Pokemon V. And if I don't have triple acceleration energy, and I'm not able to use multiple Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX, how exactly am I getting all the energy on here? Because I want to use Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. That's kind of my point, ladies and gentlemen. That's kind of my point. Now, you can rely on Rapid Strike energy here, and it being Rapid Strike really saves you. I should have mentioned it was Rapid Strike earlier, shouldn't I? Ah, well, it is. Rapid Strike energy, this for me kind of makes it viable. Because now you've got Rapid Strike energy, and you can use 1 Shadow Rider Calyrex. Now, let's be clear, I still don't think this is perfect, because I don't have a backup Sylveon, unless I'm giving out 30 damage, and I'm not having a backup Calyrex unless I'm giving up 30 damage. I want triple acceleration energy here, or pre-rotation, I want Welder. But getting free energy on, for me, is awkward post-rotation. Your best option is Rapid Strike Energy with Shadow Rider Calyrex, but I only want 2 Psychic Pokemon max of them, 1 in the active, 1 on the bench. And sure, you can play around with all kinds of stuff like Turbo Patch with Rapid Strike Energy. That would be fine. You could start playing around with stuff like, your Darkness Pokemon of choice could be Galarian Moltres, which attaches a Darkness Energy from the discard to itself. And then you can energy switch it over. And then you can use Rapid Strike Energy. There are options. I am not saying there aren't options. I am, in fact, saying very explicitly that there are options. But with Triple Acceleration and Welder both rotating out, we have lost our good options. The 2 really strong ways that we would have to get the free energy on there easily are going. Even then, you're talking against a Pokemon V, why would I ever play this over Victini? I mean, I personally wouldn't. Now, against single prize Pokemon, yes, Sylveon is way better, and you are hitting a different weakness. And honestly, I wouldn't mind playing this with Victini, with Welder, but that's a moot point. Like I say, Welder's rotating about when this comes out. Now, there is a really dumb combo that we can make here that I do just need to give a little bit of a shout out. I'm not sure how viable this actually is, so it's more of a chuck it in on the end because it could be fun kind of thing. But we do have the Rapid Strike Kecleon. And the Rapid Strike Kecleon here, it is going to be coming out in, well, we assume in Chilling Reign. This one I do actually kind of love. This Pokemon is the same type as the basic energy attached to it. If it has 2 or more different types of basic energy, it is all of those types. So what you can do here is actually go a little bit nuts and attach one of all the basic energy on there. And then we've actually got potentially all 8 types. Wait, 9 types, because Kecleon is colourless. And that's nice. At that point, you're actually hitting 270 plus the 70 base, which is 340, which is enough to KO any Pokemon around. As a fun little side note, and I know I'm not the first person to point this out, over in Japan, they are rotating later than us. So they will have Fairy Energy and Dragon Pokemon, but like I say, we're going to get this about a rotation where we lose Dragon Pokemon and Fairy Energy, but we would actually at that point be able to hit 400 damage. Incidentally, that's pointless, because 340 KOs anything, pretty much, and so the extra 60 isn't terribly relevant, and I love the idea of comboing this with Kecleon, I really do, but let's be 100% clear here, the chances of you being able to get that many different basic energy on Kecleon is effectively 0. We just don't have the ways to accelerate energy right now. It would be fun, but also if you actually did that, Kecleon's got 90 HP, your opponent would definitely just boss his orders and KO it. So as much as I love the Kecleon plan, I don't think it's actually a viable plan. What we're left with is a Pokemon that can most of the time hit 220 with 5 different types of Pokemon on its bench. And as much as I love that, and I do, I don't like it as much as Victini, and I think the free energy is going to be a real problem. Rapid Strike Energy and Ghost Horse will work, but that means you don't have a backup Sylveon you're working on, and you don't have a backup Ghost Horse. Maybe there are some awkward things that can be used, like I say, with Galarian Moltres or Turbo Patch or things of that nature, but I worry that having to get free energy on and also get 5 different types of Pokemon on the bench is just asking a little bit too much. Obviously in Expanded, where you can use Skyfield to have more bench Pokemon, and then you have got Fairy and Dragon, things get an awful lot easier, but I don't think this is really what we're looking for in Expanded either. I'm going to go ahead and give it 4 Wassies. There is a lot of potential here, but I think I'm going to end up looking like I put this way too high, because frankly, a lot of potential, far too awkward. Although, just so we're clear, I still adore Sylveon V. I think Sylveon V is nuts. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.